Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to another recording of MTG Arena. 1 second. Yeah, have to adjust myself in my chair just to make it not horribly painful. I desperately need like a recliner or something. Something really cushioned. Alright, let's hop into the game. So, I'm a little confused about this game. We're just going to jump into it and try to cover the news and everything. The thing here is you have Il Divino, Michelangelo Sistine ceiling in VR. But what confuses me about this is this does not look right to me. The part in particular, here you have right here, this part, and these parts. I don't believe these are the right orientation. I don't believe this is the right size of the building. I don't believe this art is right. So either I am really wrong, or which I might be, because like I haven't actively seen the Sistine Chapel itself as much as just individual parts of it and individualized parts of it. So I could be wrong, or it could be just a case of them copy and pasting art that they maybe don't own. But it is VR. It's free. It's English with full audio. Oops. I forgot to play, so the guy just conceded. I will take that victory and apologize for not playing. That's like a free victory still means a free card, and as long as you're playing free to play and don't have all the cards, that still makes sense. So we'll jump back in here. Yeah, so I would highly suggest everybody either install this or like it's free now, so you might as well get it even if you don't have VR. It does require a third-party EULA and a VR headset, of course, but yeah, I can't say it's a bad idea. I guess I'll put it on the follow list because frankly installing a bunch of things onto my accounts that are free VR games, even if it is something of artistic importance. This is the one thing I would say that VR has actually done right, is that they have opened the door to a lot of art presentations, usually not ancient famous art presentations, but museums and art presentations nonetheless, to a larger group of society to look at these arts and be inspired by these art pieces, instead of it all being hidden inside of a museum that has a heavy entrance fee or a heavy burden in the fact that you need to be in the area where that museum is, which excludes the vast majority of society. And so yeah, VR is nice for that, and it's educational in this one instance. Speaking of being slightly educational, Baba Is You is getting a level editor next year. People, well, Giant Bomb people at the very least, were in love with this game when it came out, and I think a lot of streamers were in love with this game for a week or so that it came out, and then it just kind of disappears. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just another instance of how fads come and go, and I think I was definitely in the right decision point where I said to myself, yeah, I'll buy this game and play it when it's cheap, but right now it doesn't make sense to buy it at its main high price when it was originally out, brand new out. And with a level editor, that adds a little bit, but not a lot. Seems like we've got a disconnect, so let's we got a network problem again, so let's just exit out and relaunch Arena. Spending way too much time doing this. Like, the fact that I have to think about, is it worth my time to try and figure out if there's a way to automatically kill and restart MTG Arena just because of the network trouble, shows that there's a problem there. Gamma Sutra has an article here. Double Fine's Vice President of Business Development, Greg Rice, departs the studio. Now, since Double Fine is now owned by Microsoft, I don't know if there really was a job for Greg Rice at that point, because there would be somebody above Double Fine in charge of business development in general that would probably be in charge of Double Fine's business development. On the other hand, this could just be a straight up people don't want to work for Microsoft, or it could just be another case of a lot of the Double Fine employees that are there aren't really that they really aren't making too many games these days. Psychonauts 2 is still the game that is supposed to come out and be finished, and is feeling like it is taking too long and getting closer and closer to being labeled as being in development hell, whereas the other games that that Double Fine have announced are practically nil. Can't really even name anything else that they've announced or that they're working on. Meanwhile, also Double Fine has their series like Costume Quest that they licensed to Amazon to make a cartoon out of. So that might have been something Greg Rice negotiated, but also something that he wouldn't be in charge of negotiating otherwise. Now, what's interesting about this article is he says he's leaving for an unannounced new position elsewhere in the game industry, which indicates to me that he got a real job offer and took the job offer and moved over, whereas most of the time when somebody leaves, they give you the line of BS that they're going to work outside of the game industry or take a vacation or retire or something like that, and then it's 6 months to a year later that they start working somewhere else as soon as that non-compete clause is finished or something along those lines. Yeah, this seems to be about as amicable a leaving of Double Fine as possible. Where, frankly, if I worked at Double Fine, I would want to not work with the guy in charge of Double Fine. I think he is a lot like the guy in charge of Valve. Just got famous early, and that led to him being complacent, and he doesn't really have the drive or desire to allow new things to be developed, or anything like that. We're starting to have some of the first or second generation of game developers, probably you'd call this the second generation of game developers, just starting to get a little too old, and it's like, okay, boomer to the old generations. If I use that meme right, yeah. When you look at Gabe Newell, and when you look at I forget the name of the guy in charge of Double Fine, but when you look at some of these people, even Cliffy B, like they're too old, they're too famous. I'm just gonna have to close this again, I guess. Like, we'll try again. Third time's the charm, right? That's the saying. Third time's the charm, as far as getting a game to actually connect. I may have to just play ranked just as a way of seeing if they prioritize ranked network connections over others. Yeah, they might prioritize standard ranked games over not just regular games. Moving on, we have a game here called Pixel Puzzles Traditional Jigsaws. We've seen hundreds of these on Steam. But yeah, just wanted to point out these are still getting made. This one's free to play, but then you have to buy the puzzles, so you end up paying a lot. It says English full audio. And this one at least is not trying to sell itself by having you having a bunch of lewd anime girls or on rare occasion lewd real life girls images that have probably been stolen. Although in all fairness, I cannot attest that any of these images were properly licensed either, so any Jigsaw game does seem to have a high chance of somebody pulling some kind of shenanigans and just not licensing the images and going on Google Images and stealing a bunch of images. On the other hand, there is also some major problems with Shudder catalog companies like Shutterstock claiming to own the licenses to things that they don't own the license to, and yet somehow that doesn't fall under the category of fraud. I don't know why that's the case, but it seems like that is the case. Moving on, Gematsu has an article, Kerbal Space Program DLC Breaking Ground for Consoles launches December 5th. So, if you're still playing Kerbal Space Program, that DLC, I imagine it was launched on PC first. Yeah, it was launched in late May on PC. So, yeah, no surprise there. This game is not out yet, but Beyond the Steel Sky, which is the... I don't know if you want to call it the direct sequel to Beneath the Steel Sky, or a spiritual successor of Beneath the Steel Sky. I guess it is a direct sequel because it's being made by Revolution Software, the developers of Beneath the Steel Sky. I just wanted to put it on the follow list, and they were tweeting about it directly. Beneath the Steel Sky is free if you want to download it from the ScumVM download section. It's like a free kind of open domain type thing. The weirdness with Beyond the Steel Sky though is that Beneath the Steel Sky came out 10-20 years ago, so this is a completely different style of game you're gonna see. It's gonna be a completely different character. It's gonna probably only feel slightly like the point and click adventure. You can see it's a very 3D experience, and it's gonna feel a lot more like I don't know what you would really describe it as. Let's see. If I did this, alright. Pay the adamant. Kill that. All attack. But yeah, I'm a little hyped on it. I'll say when it comes out. We'll still need to see reviews and such, and it's not like Revolution Software in particular even has been doing a great job re-releasing their old series, or like Broken Sword 5 I really didn't like, so that's another factor to consider. 3 damage. So yeah, but just a little paperwork cleanup, I suppose that would be classified as a little maintenance. Tech Raptor has an article here. Nintendo pre-order policy goes to trial in Europe. Apparently Nintendo's upset. Europe is upset again. The Nintendo pre-order policy is simply this: once you pre-order a game via Nintendo eShop, you can't cancel it. The problem, however, is this may be well against the consumer protection laws in Norway and in the European Union. Yeah, I can't really say I hate the fact that they're mostly holding companies to task in the European Union and trying to give consumers more protections. But yeah, they're saying here, Tech Raptor says Nintendo's pre-order policy could be ruled illegal by Christmas. Who is that really going to affect too much, though? It's like people that pre-ordered games via the eShop and then want to cancel it is probably an incredibly small number of people. I clearly was not paying enough attention. Let's see, what do we want to do? Here. Let's swipe out here. To Out for Blood and play standard ranked and see if we can get more victories that way. Just as we're trying to wrap up here and we're trying to get more of a win. This is Out for Blood? What? Nope. This is not Out for Blood. I can guarantee you that. Tech Raptor has an article here. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order comes with a Fortnite skin if you order on the Epic Games Store. So yeah, still getting tie-ins and promotions. But one thing I think you should probably take from that is Jedi Fallen Order is not this arbitrary long exclusive period with the Epic Games Store that we've been seeing with other games. So Epic Store exclusivity is a thing that might be going away, and wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what's happening, because there was definitely bad reception there. Gamma Sutra has an article here. Video top game composers share hard-won advice and lessons learned. This is a GDC video from 2017 if you want to watch it. We'll do no blocks here. Gamma Sutra's promoting GDC. Attend GDC and see how Borderlands 3 was optimized for bazillions of guns. I don't know how much optimization you really would need to do that, honestly. Just gonna go with red and hope this is right. Yeah, why would I want to do 1 damage when I can do 3 damage? Because the thing to realize, though, is it's not like there's bazillions of guns in one place. There's potentially bazillions of guns that exist in general. They could potentially exist, and they're not that different. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the effects and abilities that guns have are just not even applied to the enemies when they're holding those guns. I don't recall really ever getting started on fire or getting hit with acid in any massively effective way by any enemy, and yet when I shot creatures or people, that's exactly what would happen. So there we go. I think we've got this. Gamatsu has an article here. Babylon's Fall news due out by the end of 2019. I have completely forgotten about Babylon's Fall. This was a game that was teased during the E3 announcement as something that sort of looked like a new Dark Souls type game, being developed by Platinum Games. Well, but we really were given no information. So 3 to a target creature. That creature or planeswalker would die as turn exiled instead. Next all attack. So he defeats this and dies, or he lets me do 4 damage. That's his only choices. That's kind of an announcement for an announcement, certainly, though. The new news will be coming out about Babylon 5. Babylon's Fall. Not, oh boy, would I love if there was new news coming out about Babylon 5. I think J. Michael Straczynski, the creator of Babylon 5, would love if there was new news coming out about it, but there isn't. Well, we got a victory there, but that was not the deck I was trying to play. And see, every day that I play Magic these days, I'm usually spending 3 or 4 extra hours after that point. That's not really a big problem, though, because it's not like I have ever jumped into recording something else right after playing Hearthstone or Magic. Anyways, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday can just be my downtime after I stream, and I can just play in silence and do a little voice rest. Moving on, Gamasutra has an article. Tencent grabs a 10% stake in the UK game company Sumo Group. Sumo Group is the owner of Crackdown 3 and Little Big Planet 3 developer Sumo Digital, which... Alright, that kind of sucks because I don't, like I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't think Tencent deserves to have anywhere as much influence in the video game industry or be a part of the video game industry at all. But a 10% stake in a company that potentially might actually fund a company to make a Crackdown 4, considering how Crackdown 2 and Crackdown 3 weren't amazing successes, would be nice. I kind of want these fancy land cards, but I certainly wouldn't spend any extra effort getting them. That would be insanity. Black. Let's see. Alright, next for Gamatsu, we have a name here for the PS4, Switch, and I don't know what top, that just means it's a top story. Umoniki no Naku Koro ni Saku Niko Bako to Muso no Kokyo Kyoku announced for PS4 and Switch. This almost certainly is based off a light novel for all of that. I have no idea. It's Iminiku, the something in of Saku. I have no idea what this is. So, and apparently everybody in Gamatsu knows who it is because they're not even explaining it. Best I can tell, it's some kind of like gambling light novel, harem, maybe anime, visual novel game. Probably not a game that's going to come to the West under that name, at the very least. Gamatsu has an article here. Square Enix teases a new smartphone game, Engage Souls, with just this. Again, I don't know what Square Enix is really doing in general. Let's see. Put Vindictive Vampire on top. And then attack. Yeah, I don't know if Square Enix is particularly trying to focus only on Japanese products and the Japanese market, or if it's just falling apart at the seams. I think it's probably just falling apart at the seams as a company. There we go. That felt like a good game, by the way. A powerful game, playing my, what I would argue is my best deck. And so we'll keep going, and we'll try to move up a ranked ladder. Although I don't imagine I'm getting above gold. It would be nice to get above gold. But well, we would have to look at the profiles to see. There's a platinum above gold, but is there a platinum like 4, 5, 6, 7, or is it just platinum and that's it? It would be crazy if I somehow was in the top tier of games of the standard play, but maybe not, because there might be just so many net deckers out there that are just playing what everybody else is playing that the fact that I even slightly custom created my own deck based on the cards I had has given me some weird advantage. That'd be crazy, but that might be the case. Moving on, Gamatsu has an article, Demo the movie animated film announced. Demo being this kind of rhythm game that is coming out to the West, but I don't really see a lot. I haven't seen it really succeed or be anything in the West, or I haven't heard of it. I'm just gonna watch this trailer and skip through it just to make sure it doesn't show anything that's YouTube unfriendly. I don't think it will, because I think Demo is pretty safe. Yeah, trailer didn't seem like it showed anything too objectionable. There we go. All attack. So, there's a couple of stories here. Gearbox Software was given the Equality Texas Business Leadership Award, which maybe is an award you just get based on who you know or what you pay for. I have no idea with the legitimacy of this award. I don't know how many people got it. It's they're where they're out of North Dallas. Probably gives out a lot of awards, I would imagine. So it's not really surprising for a company to get an award. It's a little surprising for Randy Pitchford to be involved in general with anything. And let's see, what's another factor we can throw into this? You want to kill this guy? Yeah, let's just get rid of this guy. We're gonna play safe. We're gonna play this. And then we're gonna play this. So they received that award, and as far as the quality goes, the only accusation I could really put against Randy Pitchford is that he was not treating people equally, allegedly, when he was mistreating his former lawyer and making fun of him for being Christian. That's not religious equality and tolerance, for sure. He wasn't treating people equally and fairly when he allegedly assaulted one of the voice actors. He wasn't treating people equally and fairly in several other instances that we could go over again. So you really would have to narrow the scope of why Gearbox Software, the company, deserves an equality award and why Randy Pitchford does not. But in the end, Randy Pitchford is Gearbox Software as a private company, and that's just kind of how it is. And on this response, I imagine this is going to be a bloviated self-congratulatory thing. Apparently, he mentions that he was opposed to the bathroom bill that Texas tried to pass, which was kind of a dumb bill, stupid legislation and shenanigans for no reason that I don't believe ever passed. So it seems like the way this is all phrased is that they were pushing in opposition to the bathroom bill, and for that they got an Equality Texas Business Leadership Award, whereas I think it had the whoever gave them this award done even the smallest investigation, that they would have realized Randy Pitchford is dirty, and thus Gearbox is dirty, and there's too much shenanigans around his name to do business with him. And I would say the same is true even for magicians, and magicians seem to still do business with him all the time, and I'd be like, like, if I'm not saying Randy Pitchford is doing the exact same thing Jeffrey Epstein is doing or anything close to that, but if Randy Pitchford ever does go down, he is going to have a black book full of famous and powerful people that he has contacts to, when most of those people should disconnect and disassociate and disavow themselves of Randy Pitchford, and they have yet to do that. So that's part of the story. The other part of the story is somebody hacked all of 2K's social media sites, it seems, and posted a bunch of trolly, pornographic, offensive, hate speech type things to their social media accounts, which, one, is weird that 2K seemed to own the social media accounts of Borderlands and several of the other companies that they are not really subsidiaries of. Like, Gearbox is not a subsidiary of 2K, so it's a little weird But I guess 2K does own Borderlands IP, so that makes sense. But I mean, just incredible lack of security to have the same passwords and the same security credentials for each of these accounts, and to have them be so easily hacked and taken over does not make sense at all. These are all verified blue check mark sites, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, 2K dropped the ball. Gearbox, Randy Pitchford, has dropped the ball. Frankly, in Texas, even accepting an award and then putting out a self-congratulatory letter saying, yes, I oppose this bathroom ban, is not what Randy Pitchford should have done. He should have, I mean, if he privately funded it, if he opposed it when asked, that's one thing, but then to publicly oppose anything, since everything is so controversial now, anything political, you're potentially losing audience. There probably is some percentage of people who would have played Borderlands, who supported the bathroom bill, and the bathroom bill, I guess, requires some explanation. It was some kind of bathroom bill where transgendered kids in school, of which there's probably 0.001% in the first place, aren't allowed to go to the bathroom that they present as. So if you're a transgendered female who was born a male, you can't go to a female bathroom, you have to go to the male bathroom. I mean, just stupid things. Like, a stupid harassment of little kids in school, more than anything else, because that was, I think, all it really covered, the bathroom bill. I don't think you can really tell a business or a store what rules they want to enforce or not in bathroom splitting up and such. So yeah, that's but even if you did oppose it, and like I opposed it, it was a dumb, stupid bill, just that was never going to pass. It would have just gone straight to the Supreme Court and then been shot down. Poking the bear after you've already won is not useful. It's not kind. It's not a good way to bring people over to your side and perspective. It's not good political discourse. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Moving on, TechRaptor has an article. Phil Spencer promises Final Fantasy XIV is coming to Xbox. Okay, the online game via Games Pass. Okay. I think it's probably too little too late to make anybody wanna play Final Fantasy XIV though. I don't think it's been particularly successful. And I'm gonna skip a lot of these games, and I might even curate some of these games. Let's see. Here is Borderlands 3 account, or the Borderlands account. Social media accounts across 2K label were compromised early Friday evening. Unfortunately, offensive material is posted that does not reflect the values of 2K or our partners. We condemn these posts and apologize to everyone offended by this content. What a great boilerplate post to have in your back pocket and to just be ready to tweet out at that point. And that was November 16th. And let's see. It was November 15th. It seems like that it was hacked. And the posts have been since removed. And yeah, they have the blue check mark and everything, so they should have better security. The truth is, though, they needed that response in particular for half of the things Randy Pitchford himself has tweeted. It's like his account was hacked. We don't agree with this. Had Randy Pitchford said his account was hacked for even one of the horrific things he's tweeted, that would have been great. And here's the 2K Twitter feed, which is the exact same boilerplate response. You should totally have these in your back pocket, like ready to go if you're any kind of presence. I mean, I'm literally gonna copy and paste that and put it as my back pocket response, just in case my own Twitter account got hacked. Now, if my Facebook account got hacked, I don't know if I'd even notice it, frankly, because I never check it. So it could be hacked right now for all I care, for all I check. Let's see. TechRaptor has this article, screenshot survey taking their load off. Every week they look at new games in the works from developers. So these are games being developed that have tweeted out screenshots, I guess. That really has no interest to me, though. Like, I have no interest in following a game that's in development. With possibly the slight exception of Yandere Simulator, but I barely even follow that. Let's see, TechRaptor has an article here. Dark Souls sales has killer discounts at Humble Bundle. If you don't have all the Dark Souls games, they're on sale. Fair enough, I suppose. TechRaptor has an article here. The Red Lantern brings good dogs to the Xbox. Let's see. It's coming out sometime in 2020. So there's no real news on that. TechRaptor has an article here. I think I could just read it by the time it loads. The Epic Games Store's next free game is Bad North. I am still getting all these free games on the Epic Games Store just as a backup, just in case I somehow lost my Steam account. Might as well, I suppose. Once you're committed to owning a Steam account, you... Let's see. Let's see. TechRaptor has an article here. Only one new Apple Arcade game this week. So, yeah. What is it? What's the name of it? Rosie's Reality is the name of it. Okay. Yeah. It's too early for Apple Arcade to slow down on the release of new games, certainly. That's something they can't afford to do. And then this. Alright. TechRaptor has an article. There's a rumor that a new Mass Effect game is in early development. No surprise there. I mean, EA has to do something with Mass Effect, or they have to admit that the series is just dead. And honestly, the series could be dead for 4 to 6 years from now, and just in secret be developing the next Mass Effect game, so that they come out of the gate running, as it were, showing a very like interesting, high quality game instead of a potentially boring, bad game. I don't have enough mana to do that. TechRaptor has an article here. Mighty Number 9 has been delisted from the Japanese PlayStation Store, but that's not all. See. A publishing deal, a likely cause behind it being delisted. Homefront Revolution is also leaving, and Saints Row 4 has already been removed. So they're all Deep Silver published games. So it seems like Deep Silver is delisting these games for one reason or another. There we go. Tap that creature. Alright, now attack. So yeah, that's slightly interesting. Perhaps more evidence that Deep Silver is in trouble. But I imagine we've got at least 6 months before we hear something like Deep Silver is going bankrupt or getting acquired by anybody. I think we're relatively safe until the new year as far as hearing that anybody's going bankrupt or getting acquired. It's just, that's just something that doesn't really happen in the fourth quarter too much. This guy's wrecking me. TechRaptor has an article here. Reports say that an Anthem overhaul is in the works. So, yeah, that rumor is still going on. Pokemon Shield and Sword came out. Seems like people are either hating it or think it's fine. Nobody seems to be really loving it. Having looked at a little bit of the gameplay footage, it's like, yeah, this is... I still think you'd be better off playing Pokemon Let's Go right now instead of playing the Sword and Shield. That being said, it does seem like that Sword and Shield outsold Pokemon Let's Go in its first day in its entirety, so people didn't seem like they really bought Pokemon Let's Go. TechRaptor has an article related to this. Dexit killed my dreams of a complete Pokedex. People still really like this character, and apparently if you're playing as this character and you spin in circles, she'll do kind of a flourish dance spin. But yeah, even TechRaptor is just like, yeah, we don't like that they got rid of the Pokedex, and there's other problems besides them getting rid of the national dex too. So it's not just pedantically sticking to that one problem. It seems to me like the people that are the reviewers that say the game is fine probably didn't play too much of it, would be my guess. I bet a lot of the Pokemon game reviews that came out had people playing for 2 or 3 hours and that's it, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. We don't need to play it all the way through. TechRaptor has an article here, the Legend of Bumbo review. So let's see what TechRaptor thought about it. It's been a while since we've seen their actual review. They gave it a 7.5. Legend of Bumbo won't capture your attention like Isaac did, but its unique graphic style and strategic gameplay are worth a look. Pro's eye-popping visual style, haunting appropriate soundtrack, absorbing gameplay, play in the style of Isaac. Cons are RNG kills rounds with reckless abandon, missing lots of quality of life features, sliding controls clash with the tactical gameplay loop. So yeah. So I have to attack here just to survive to the next turn. And it probably won't even save me. TechRaptor has an article here. Jurassic World Evolution Expansion Pack brings you back to Jurassic Park. Which, okay. This is probably all anybody ever wanted with Jurassic World Evolution, if they wanted that game at all, was to go back to the original island and the original Jurassic Park. This doesn't look terrible. The question is this really a game? Because I think Jurassic World Evolution is more of a, like, trailer park, amusement park simulator, not trailer park simulator, although that might be an interesting concept for a game too. So, yeah. I would really have to see Jurassic World Evolution on sale before I would even really consider it. Alright. Defeat. That's like our first defeat, though, playing ranked. And then, let's see. We have like 7 minutes left in an hour, so let's play one more game, which will take more than 7 minutes almost certainly, and then we'll wrap up this stream. We're doing perfectly fine. We're above the 10 threshold in which you would get XP, so now it's really just a matter of getting the weekly 15 victories done and the daily 15 victories done at the same time, and just trying to get up ranked ladder if we can. TechRaptor has an article here. Kingdom Hearts special brand of nonsense is coming to Xbox, which is cool. All the collections will hit the console in 2020, so if you wanted to play Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix is a collection of collections containing both the remix versions of the games. In this group you play original Kingdom Hearts and pretty much everything else. Yeah, that doesn't mean a lot to me though. Like, I am so already not the person that's going to play Kingdom Hearts that because I tried to play Kingdom Hearts 1 and it was just way too grindy. It is totally not the JRPG game for pretty much anybody, I would argue. It's hard to say it's for anybody. Yeah. Let's see. TechRaptor has an article here. Update: Pokemon's Sword and Shield triggers a Switch XFAT driver bug, which I believe was deleting save files of other games. Updated in what was originally believed to be an issue of Pokemon Sword and Shield, it turns out to be an issue that's related with the Switch OS itself. While many who play the game on the Nintendo Switch wouldn't come across this bug, it's apparently well known in the homebrew and modding scene. Let's see, the bug is Nintendo's XFAT drivers. XFAT is just like the newest version of the file allocation tables that are used on SD cards. It constantly changes folder files even on reads. It's because it never syncs properly. On a hang, force quit, force reboot, or power off, the handles are lost and the files folders become missing from the file allocation table. Because XFAT does not have a second FAT like FAT32 file allocation table, these files cannot be recovered. That is garbage. And I played the wrong card. I should have played this. Well, some other file systems that are probably better, particularly for SD cards. The one that that Android uses, I believe, in particular, is, I think, probably a better way to format the SD cards. And I imagine that the Switch already requires you to format the SD card and uses all of it anyways. So they're just kind of not with the times more than anything, that they'd be using exFAT instead. The other allegation, and I guess I should leave this as just an allegation too, is that some of the Roku devices in your house on the same Wi-Fi as your Switch while you're playing Pokemon Shield and Sword seem to be glitching out and having trouble, because Pokemon Shield and Sword is just spitting out so many malformed garbage network packets that it's like glitching the Roku, which inherently this is the Roku's fault, not the Switch, but it seems like every other device can handle malformed network power packets a lot better, and it seems like it's just older Rokus, but certainly it is also bad hygiene to develop your game to spit out garbage information. Do we want a blocker? Nah. Gamatsu has an article here. The Shenmue creator Yu Suzuki shares a thank you message ahead of the Shenmue 3 release. I hope from the bottom of my heart that Shenmue 3 becomes special for you. Yeah, this is kind of pandering, considering all the shenanigans that have gone around Shenmue 3's release and its Kickstarter and its bait and switch. Like, they're really not in a position to do this. Let's see. Trample and haste until the end of the turn. Is that what we want? Trample and haste? Sure. Give me trample and haste. Alright. Okay. Attack here. Didn't realize I was going to give trample and haste to everybody. I thought I was just going to give trample and haste to me. I would not recommend buying Shenmue 3 or playing Shenmue 3 until a lot of the shenanigans, at least outside of the 6 months section. It's another one of those boycott games where it should be boycotted in my mind. It's not as bad, I guess, as Activision Blizzard games, but it's really just a sliding scale. Crabs in the bucket, everybody pulling each other downward. As far as moral and ethical reasonings. Alright. And then just tap this target creature. And then I'm going to attack with both of these. And then let's see. Gamatsu has an article here. Guilty Gear 20th Anniversary Pack is coming to North America. Coming soon, but no specific date. So that might be a good point to get into the Guilty Gear fighting series. I've lost here, obviously. Let's see. Gamatsu says Street Fighter V Champion Edition announced alongside DLC character Gil. So this is like the third version that I can think of off the top of my head for Street Fighter V, which is kind of traditionally the way Street Fighter games have been, but not legitimately the way you should be selling your game these days. See, Komatsu has the same article. Stadia launch up adds 10 more titles. We pretty much already knew what these were, though. These were just the titles they said they were going to add the next week. So how is it news when you saw the news last week? Gamatsu has an article here. Blaster Master 02 is coming to PC alongside DLC character Copen from Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger 9 on November 29th. I feel like this Blaster Master 0 series potentially is a series that I might want to cover. It is an 8-bit NES looking game, and typically I avoid those, but I might make an exception for the Blaster Master series. Gamatsu has an article here. A major company, quote unquote, is hiring a programmer for a super famous robot game for the PS4, PS5, and PC. So one would assume that's a Gundam game. Well, although it could be, frankly, any kind of robot. That the way it's written here doesn't even say that it's a super robot or if it's a regular robot game. So, could be a Transformers game, frankly, for all we know, which would definitely change my interest. Good news, 30 years later, pretty much. TechCraft has this article. Wolfenstein 3D has been removed from the German ban list. This was released in 1992. It's been banned and ruled unconstitutional because it has swastikas in it, basically. So now people in Germany can finally play Wolfenstein 3D and see what it's all about. Well, that's the joke, of course. I think there's a game called like Resistance 1442 or something like that, or Homefront Resistance, I believe was actually the company, and they tweeted out that, hey, our game is trending because #resistance is trending, and yeah, that's not really the reason why #resistance would be trending worldwide on Twitter, and that's not classy at all to try and promote your product as people are fighting for their lives and their livelihood. But I can't really name and shame it because I clicked on the wrong link. But I do think it was Homefront Resistance. Not cool, to say the least. TechRaptor has an article here. Warhammer Fantasy Classic to return, which Warhammer the Old World. I don't know if this is even a video game or if this is a board game. So, yeah. Okay. Warhammer going into the old world, into their mythos that makes it more like Warcraft, is really, really smart right now, as everybody is hating on Activision Blizzard. If there's a Warcraft style clone game out there, some people might play it, although I don't know that there would be too many people that would play it. TechRaptor has an article here. Sonic 3 prototype uncovered by Hidden Palace, apparently. So, yeah, I heard about this, a Sonic 3 prototype being released. So when we hear something about this, we're hoping you can just download the prototype and it'll play just fine on a Master System emulator. And it's always nice to find these little gems of history, because, yeah, that's cool. It doesn't really mean anything. It's we've long since moved forward on the Sonic series towards other types of products, 3D Sonic games, the Sonic movie, things like that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they leaked this prototype as a way of promoting the Sonic movie. Which I don't have anything really to say about the new trailer for the new Sonic movie. I don't care about the old trailer or the new trailer or the movie in general. TechRaptor has an article here. Villains and investigations take center stage in the next Dwarf Forest update, which Dwarf Forest seems to be a pixel graphics game. So, alright, that with me skipping all the games, so we've got some to talk about on Wednesday. That brings me to the Humble Bundle. Do we have any new Humble Bundle games on sale? I bet the answer to that is no. And then, is there let's see. Platinum Games is doing some kind of contest for the Bayonetta 10th anniversary. I would really like to see Bayonetta 1 remastered and released on, well, it is on Steam already, so I guess I would just want to see a remaster, and the remaster released on Steam at the same time. Yeah, they're asking for people's cosplay and art, which I'm sure they'll get a lot of loot art that way. I'd like to see Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta 3 come out on PC. We didn't really cover any lewd games. We didn't really cover any anime visual novel games. Just didn't run into any of them. What's on Steam seems to be working, but as we're just getting towards the end of the year, it seems like there's just less and less things coming out. Koei Tecmo is still tweeting pictures of Atelier Ryza, and that seems to be about the main thing that I'm seeing more of than anything else as I'm scrolling down my Twitter feed, as far as just kind of like a JRPG game or any kind of Japanese game. I think Singles Day, which is I think mostly a Chinese holiday, has come and gone, and it didn't really evolve into any kind of sales for the Western audience. There wasn't a Steam sale around it. See, Activision says we're working on resolving issues causing PC crashes for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. BlazBlue patch version 2.0 patch notes are out. Samurai Showdown delayed to Q1 2020 in the West. Alright. ScumVM is having some hardware trouble, aren't we all these days? That's a terrible tower defense game. I'm skipping some of these games that, like football manager games and stuff like that. I don't even care to play them. DJ Max Respect 5 announced for PC. We'll talk about that Wednesday. A lot of Half-Life VR tweets and excitement, or attempts to build excitement around that, but that's kind of it. Yeah, they don't have anything new to say about it. They just are trying to build excitement. All right, we did pretty good here today. At no point did I go 30-40 minutes over an hour per episode. I didn't spend an incredibly long amount of time wrapping up with the game itself sitting here doing nothing. I did some of that at the end, and that probably will always be the case. We have 10 out of 15 victories, so I can just play off screen there. And the only thing I can really complain about is that we didn't get anybody on the chat and we didn't get any talking going. That's a shame, but whatever. People are busy. I understand that. That's going to be it for this recording and this stream. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and give me a gift card or give me a game off my wishlist. Remember, the November and December sales are happening on Steam, and that's my big time every year to buy more games to cover. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.